before I can even brush my own teeth.
Exactly. I feel similar, except I don't actually have to walk. We live in a space, in a place that's a desert. Literally, it's like a huge cat box, except it's not. But it's similar to a huge cat box.
Is this IC or OOC?
This is icy.
Yeah, IC, yeah. Okay, welcome to the game and the live stream. We're live on Twitch TV GOLDpublic with Lex Plays Unpopular Games, Chris, and RainbowSilks, the IRL streamer. We're going to play the Campaign Gold Dungeons & Dragons AD&D 2nd Edition campaign in the Prelude chapter called 1,000 Years Before. So we're playing the Ancestor characters right now. 2,000 years later, we're going to play the main campaign, and the Descendant characters will be able to call upon powers and items and walk in the footsteps that have been trod and revealed in the fog of war and dynamic lighting by the Ancestor characters. So Ancestors now, Descendants later. A few players cannot attend today for various reasons with work and family, but that's okay. We'll proceed and play with those who are here. We'll have Lex, Chris, and Silk, and today's adventure is going to focus around our party's dog, a Greyhawk Wisehund animal named Havar'Ti. What are you named after, Chris? What'd you name your cheesy dog from?
Mother was a cheesemaker, so naturally she named me after her favorite cheese.
Was this a dog mom or a human dog mom? Human mom.
It was a human mother.
How can you have a human mother?
Because at one point, I was a human, a little boy.
Okay.
Who eventually got polymorphed, so to speak, or transformed into a dog.
Okay.
He's very spiteful for it.
Who's he spiteful towards? The witch that transformed him, probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Do we have any backstory clues about where this witch, where did all this occur?
That would mostly entail whether the order he works for. He always seeks out information from the order he works for, as far as any information that they've heard, because initially it was a target of the order, and it doesn't look good for them that he ended up getting away.
Okay, the witch was a he?
So we think.
Okay. Is the organization that you work for called, I think I remember, is it the Brotherhood? Lex knows.
Typing it out.
Okay, the Brotherhood. Yeah, it is the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood in the city. So the Brotherhood, if you want to either have one of your contacts meet up with you out here or go into the city and ask go to a Brotherhood hideout and ask for information, they might have gotten new rumors about the witch that converted you into a dog. That's one possibility for today. So if you want to pursue that angle, you would probably start sniffing around the entrance to the city and say we want to go to the Iratex map. And we certainly could do that for an angle on today's adventure. That's a possibility. Let's see what else has been brewing with the Brotherhood and the temples. Chris? Do you know, or will we have to ask Lex what the relationship of the Brotherhood and the temple is? Are you guys aren't you kind of infiltrating the temple on behalf of the Brotherhood, and they think you're legit temple patrons and clergy, but in fact you're Brotherhood spies? Or are the two actually allies and everybody's all good with it? Lex is typing while being on the phone with the boss. Lex knows the political ins and outs. Here comes Lex to tell us about that. And we've got King Ku in the party today, too. So we're going to have... a Kitsune thief masquerading as a human priest. We're going to have a human deposed king warrior and a dog warrior. So we've got thief, warrior, rogue, warrior. The Brotherhood is an organization of fixers like Michael Cohen. They do shadowy things for the city, for the benefit of the city. Takisha herself is legitly devout to the gods, but the Brotherhood just wants to have eyes everywhere. Okay, yeah, so she straddles the fence. Fair enough. What about the dog? How do you are smart enough, Chris. Havar'Ti is smart enough to know that he used to be a human, and he kind of has the thoughts and memories of a human in his dog brain. He also actually knows that he can speak in common as a dog. So he's a talking dog, but he rarely does that. He keeps that on the down low and maintains this basically sort of effectively the disguise, appearance, personality of being a real dog. He is a real dog. He's a real dog with the experiences, mind, and memories of a small human. So with that mindset, Chris, does your character, again, I know we're saying your character Havar'Ti, a dog, but does your character like believe in the gods or follow the Brotherhood? How do you relate to the Brotherhood, the gods, and Takisha? Like inside the dog's mind as well as your outward appearance. Like, do those two things jive, or you're acting one way but you really think a different way?
I think in general he believes in the gods. He believes in them because Takisha believes in them. Because his relationship with her, he respects them, but isn't necessarily a follower of them, right? But working for the order and, being loyal to Takisha, usually any tasks that they have from the temple or to help aid towards that, he makes sure that he tries to.
Cool. Good explanation. All right. Let me twist it for you one more time now and let you think on it some more. So in a previous adventure 1 or 2 weeks ago, your dog stepped into a cave and you were transported to the astral plane because it was a magical astral plane traveling cave inhabited by a monitor, which is a judgmental, angelic centaur Pegasus person from Spelljammer, from the wild space, from the outer planes, of great high power. And using its powers, it forcibly converted your alignment up to lawful good. So now that you're lawful good, does that change, or does it still continue to vibe with your existing perspective of loyalty to Takisha, believing in the gods but not following them, and being aligned with the Brotherhood while acting as a temple dog?
I think it still stays pretty in line, right? So he's still loyal to Takisha, he's still loyal to the Brotherhood, and being lawful towards his upbringing and lawful towards the order. May alter his perception in some cases as far as some of the shadier sides of tasks that they, give out, or things that Takisha may do, but I don't think it's changed his outlook on religion, so to speak, at least not at this point in time.
Yep, good point. It hasn't really changed your outlook on religion or your allegiances, within the party. So that's cool. And, I'm not huge on alignment stuff, but you can play that up for fun whenever it comes up. I would say that one thing that might happen is you learn in the culture of Havar'Ti that, rising to the level of becoming reincarnated as a cat would be looked upon as a blessing and an aspiration for many people, that would hope to come back as a cat and have 9 lives
As a dog,
to
that's
enjoy.
the very last aspiration that he has.
Yes. And as a little boy as well, earlier, you did not want to be cursed into changing form to a 4-legger at all.
Nope.
So in regards to your lawful nature, it would be culturally known that a witch polymorphing you permanently into a dog was an illegal act. It was an act of aggression, unauthorized. It was not a blessing ordained by the priests of the reverence of the cats, but instead was a curse to make you a lonely, mangy dog of the streets.
And technically, we were sent there to kill that person, so it was more of a punishment and more of a curse kind of set upon us to.
Gotcha.
While the person may have been able to say kill us quickly or instantly, that wouldn't be painful enough or punishment enough for someone that wanted to come kill this person. So they saw
Okay, that's
better
awesome.
punishment.
Okay. So it gets deeper on 2 levels for me. One is you're saying you were on a assassination or murder mission, so the person was defending themselves.
Correct.
And then you're also adding to the evil underlying nature of the curse placed upon you because they could have possibly slain you outright, but that would have been too merciful. So he purposely cursed you to become a dog of the streets in a city of Havar'Ti. A mutt of some sort. But you came out to be a wise-hund dog. It's a breed of dog from Greyhawk, and it has some cool features to it. Okay, cool. Good. I like it. I would think that a suitable mission for today's game session could be possibly going to hunt down this witch, or even just maybe investigating that and getting our nose into a little bit of other business along the way. Just maybe sort of randomly.
I have plenty of human privilege, so I can extend.
True.
Like, do you want to talk to somebody? Great. Like, I can.
Well, has y'all's 2 characters ever? Has Havar'Ti as of yet revealed to Ku that Havar'Ti is a talking dog?
I think I've already talked in the party once, right?
No, the only time he necessarily did was a sidebar with Takisha.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have no clue.
And additionally, in the cave with whatever long explanation of a being was in there, but ended up converting him to lawful good. After pretty much he was called on his bullshit, and he could sense that, hey, he can't trick him because he's not very clever, even though he thinks he is. But
Gotcha.
I mean, Takisha is pretty much the only one he hasn't seen not necessarily an opportunity, but a necessary situation for that to happen yet. He Havar'Ti likes to maintain his cover, so to speak, as essentially the eyes of the Brotherhood within the city, since no one necessarily expects just a stray dog to be spying on. So
Love it.
fewer people that know he speaks or can speak or is more than just a stray mutt, the better.
Yeah, I probably don't know then. I was not in the cave, and I don't think I was present like character for any of the other.
Sounds. You probably know that it's. I don't want to say remarkably intelligent dog. That might be overstating. I'll let Chris say, but you can tell that the
It's
dog.
a rather dumb dog.
It's a dumb dog. Okay, it's a dumb dog, but it somehow has a look in its eyes that sometimes when you say things, you think it's understanding the words in some manner.
Of course, because like sit and fetch and things the dog does. You fairly intelligent dogs are.
Yeah.
Legit. I mean, I don't obviously entrust to more, because I don't have a full scope of the intelligence of Havar'Ti. So I don't like regularly go deliver this secret message.
Share your secret, deepest, darkest secrets to a dog. because
Exactly.
he doesn't know what you're saying.
They took my pearls. Oh, they shall pay. Oh, they shall pay. Them and their families and their families' families. I like to get
That's
drunk
awesome.
on local alcoholic beverages that I've never had, and then wax poetically about the generationally long vengeance that I will wreak upon the usurpers of my throne. Confident that no one is really aware of what I'm saying, but obviously.
That's awesome. Can you fill me in on the pearls thing again that you kind of mutter in the presence of Havar'Ti without realizing Havar'Ti can actually understand the words? So I know about you've got the
7
necklace.
black pearls, right? So the 6 pearls on the necklace and 1 pearl on the ring. It's the united pearls together that symbolize the command of the mountains, of the volcanoes, and mastery over the ocean, which is the symbol of rulership for my people. So the necklace itself, I mean, the pearls are roughly like thumbnail size, circles. They're not huge, but they would look similar to, if you've ever seen one before in D&D, a necklace of fireballs, in that it's large individual beads where it looks like you could pull one off and throw it. But they're not. They're black pearls, and they kind of go all the way around the neck like a choker.
Okay.
And then it matches a ring, which is made out of mother of pearl, right? So mother of pearl is like the shiny inside of clams and oysters and that kind of iridescent material. So the ring itself is made out of mother of pearl set with a black pearl, the matching one for the necklace.
Okay.
And
Love it.
And it's those things which have just been passed down from, ruling dynasty to ruling dynasty, which symbolize the the conveyance of rulership from one dynastic being to another. Obviously, it's a human ruling line, so we're just humans. We're not anything other than that yet. But so it's passed down in family-wise, but theoretically it would pass out of any family. And indeed, the 7 pearls and together are what are being pursued by the usurpers, so they can rightly show that they themselves have mastery over the volcano and the oceans to claim legitimate rule. Because since they don't have it right now, there's a lot of internal dissent and political infighting and even guerrilla war that's taking place on the islands as the usurpers are consolidating their power.
Okay. All right. A couple questions came to mind. I'll follow up on that and get a little more information. I followed most of that, but are you in possession of all 7 pearls, or they've got 1 or 2 of them?
No, I am now, because when I got here, somebody had stolen one, if you recall. They had stolen the ring, and we had to go.
So when you referred a few minutes ago, when you were grousing in the presence of the dog, someone stole my rings, or someone stole my pearls, you were just talking about when someone stole your ring, but now you have it back.
Yeah. Just a general, like, stole my pearls, stole my throne, stole my...
Okay, so they still have stolen your throne. I mean, you're not back to reclaim it, but you are in possession of the pearls, but they are sending agents who are trying to get the pearls back.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Do you have any allies, remaining lines of communication? In Game of Thrones, they would say, is there anybody back? Do you have any birds back in the island who would send you a raven? Do you have any way of getting word of what's transpiring in the island nations, or are you now cut off from it because there's no telephones, no cell phones yet?
Well, I mean, indeed, there aren't. There are people who would be loyal to me, but as an island connected much with mainlanders' activities, they didn't really bother us. So we don't have any real long-range way of communicating outside of our island cluster. Therein, there was a process where the shamans, the volcano shamans, could communicate with each other using essentially long distance drums set up on hills that would project out over the water towards other islands and things. But such would not be possible here.
Cool. Okay. I have ideas that arise from what you say, and I'm committing the ideas to memory so that I don't jump ahead, so that when you get to the right places, in the game and on map, that I can say da-da-da happened. Okay, so there's been developments dealing with the islands, which I have in mind, but I can't tell you yet because Ku doesn't have a way of having found out yet. So,
I mean, it's always possible that friendly agents would also be trying to track me down to
right,
right,
and they are. But so, I mean, someone's probably trying to. Some of your allies, your loyalists, we could say, are trying to get word to you, and also there are geological, scientific, and political developments in the islands.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. It's things are a little bit of something fell somewhere and something happened, and but just if anything, maybe the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, or some of your volcano spirit senses and things like that.
My whiskers, because as you can see, I've got a sweet ass white beard.
That is a sweet beard. Yeah, you're right. That guy's haircut's sharp, actually.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that World Wrestling Federation belt thing too.
He looks like my Death Knight in World of Warcraft. My Death Knight has that skull kind of belt like that too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. In real life, I don't have a skull belt because I lost that in the, now I'm just a regular wandering. I look obviously a little bit more well-built and, many people as they age might lose their strength or something, but that has not occurred.
With you or with Ku? Both.
Yeah. I mean, in character. In real life, my strength is diminished considerably, but whatever. My sweet gains have gone away.
Yeah, I could believe you on strength, but you're very youthful and bright living person for your age. It's awesome. I'm glad we can play games together.
I have a sweet dexterity score in real life.
Nice. No one here would guess that you're 75.
I know, right?
Right. No, no one would guess your actual age, I don't think. Anyway, King Ku has his whiskers stand up as a breeze, as a hot breeze blows from the north.
I look down at Havar'Ti, who is.
Oh, you muted yourself.
Oh, what?
Yep, I feel like occasionally parts of your sentences are dropping. Don't know if you knew that.
No. Yeah, it's probably the noise filter. I have a noise gate set up, so it cuts off sound if it's too low. So I'll try to make it closer to.
Okay, because it's been usually like the third or fourth word you say. Like the first couple words come in, and then it drops out for a few, and then it comes back.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah, I'll look. So I feel the breeze hit my whiskers and everything, and I will look down at Havar'Ti, probably hanging out the way the dogs will do, lying around and things. And I say, "There's a foul scent on the air today, my dog friend. But at least we have the cold ale to ward off the heat." And I will put a bowl of beer down for the dog to drink if it should so choose, because everybody drinks beer.
Drink it from your cup as you're pouring it before it even hits the bowl.
A good time. Always thirsty doggy, so I'll pour all the beer down into the bowl and recline in the chair for just a moment, reflecting on the vicissitudes of life and how I found myself in this place, whilst also lamenting the shitty fare that I have to choose from in this rather poor but flavorful ale.
Indeed. So that is enjoyed by all. Alrighty. Cool. Oh, thanks, Chris. Just didn't see you in the viewer list. That's why I asked that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the large video streams look good on the stream. That's nice. We see a little more of our faces going out there.
Yeah.
All right.
More
All right.
faces. And I'm hosting as well. All the hosting.
Thank you for that. I want to get Lex. That's one of the other things I've been meaning to ask is Lex to set us up on auto hosting on Lex Plays Unpopular Games. Yeah, we're starting to pull in more and more people, and I've been doing the thing advised for you Twitch streamers, for us Twitch streamers out there, Silk, and making friends with people on other streams. I mean, you can't just go to every other D&D stream and like the first thing you chat in there is like, go follow me on my channel. You know, I do what this channel's doing, only come to mine instead. So you can't just go pop in and poach people. But I pop in and watch other people's streams and give them a few bits and make comments in their stream and listen to their game and follow them on Twitter and YouTube and stuff. And then from that, we're starting to make a kind of a network of AD&D second edition streamers that are uniting across Fantasy Grounds and Roll20 and Twitch and Discord.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of trying to cross promote. Most streamers are not cool with that.
Right. I'm hoping if I scratch some of them first, that they'll kind of scratch back in some ways.
Yep.
You know. So not everybody can stream. Obviously, none of us stream, 24/7. So
Here's what I do to kind of do that. In my own stream, like down on my page, I have a panel, right? And on a panel, I say, hey, these are some other streamers that I think are really awesome, and they're really, really cool, and I really enjoy their content. And I just list them there.
I am doing that right now. I need to make a panel. That is awesome. I like how your panels look. I haven't developed that section very much yet. But I did put it into my template for my video descriptions. So it's in the description box on YouTube and Twitch,
Gotcha.
like on the VODs. And it does include Lex Plays Unpopular Games, RainbowSilks. You guys are included as being participants in this campaign. And then I went on to say like 2E Streamer Network. And I put like Gargamond, Old Dragon, Fishy, and then I need to go back in there and add in Celestian and Koibu. Because that right there is all of the people that I know that are doing second edition online right now.
Gotcha.
So anyway, yeah. Trying not to, cross promote. Well, I am trying to cross promote. I'm trying not to like poach by going into their stream, but I'm trying to cross promote in the sense of not just me crossing myself into their channel, but me creating a network where anyone that finds any one of us could then find all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
YouTube,
so
Twitch, Twitter.
on Twitch, right, there's a thing you can do. You can create. I created one for myself, called a community. Right, like I'm in a community right in several.
Cool.
But you can create it yourself. You can just make it, and you're the administrator of it. And you can, for the sake of discussion, let's say it's called Second Edition D&D. So anyone then who wishes to stream can also tag themselves with that Second Edition D&D community tag, and then they're automatically streaming under that one place. So if you want to define Second Edition D&D, you could just go to that community and you would see everybody who's streaming Second Edition D&D stuff.
So I'm thinking about doing that, but when you stream, you can only tag yourself in 3 communities. And I've researched the whole community thing, and there's like several for Dungeons and Dragons, etc. But like,
Gotcha.
For example, the one called Dungeons and Dragons has 800 members. That seems better than me bifurcating down to second edition that would then have like 5 members.
I mean, yes. I mean, it would have 5 members at first, but like, I got to be honest with you. If you, there's such a massive difference between like 5th edition and 2nd edition that if I wanted to watch a 2nd edition game, I wouldn't probably be able to find that very easily just looking at the normal D&D stream, because most people are playing 5th.
Yeah, looking through the normal D&D stream, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
We use good keywords, like I use the word 2E, but also the word second edition. So if anyone happens to search for either of those terms, in terms of search, it would come up. But in terms of communities, it won't. You're right. Right now, we're using the communities we're using right now are UK streamers. The reason I chose that one, even though I'm not in the UK, but Lex obviously is. But the thing is I think the time of day that we're streaming, it's afternoon in the United States, but it's prime time in UK, in GMT. It's like 8 p.m. over there. So it's like a good time. I feel like that's a good time for us to reach audience that lives in GMT. And then we're also in Dungeons and Dragons, which has 800 people in it. And then right now I've got us going in small streamer community. And the thing I like about small streamer community is a lot of people will raid someone else from small streamer community.
Yep.
It's like that's another favorite thing you can do for people. So definitely, well, you won't be here at the end of the session, Koo, but everybody help me and Lex to remember to do a raid at the end of all our streams. Raids are fun. People like it when they get a raid. People pay attention to that. So, I'm not going to declare ahead of time who we're going to raid. We'll wait and see who's on at that point in time, but 90% chance it'll be somebody D&D. But Silk, even though your stream is IRL, not D&D, we've got you in my auto hosting, and you're frequently appearing on my channel when I'm not streaming.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I've seen you with the auto host and stuff, so it's really nice.
Yeah. I don't know if it notifies you like every time, or like only if someone logs into my stream and your thing is playing, or like only if I'm online.
Neither
I don't know
one.
when it sends it.
When I'm streaming, and so the way the auto hosting, it doesn't start right away. It's not like the moment I turn on my stream and you've set to auto host, you don't instantly auto host. It takes a few minutes. And they come online. It's like I get the notification in my own stream. It says, GOLDpublic is auto hosting you with X amount of viewers, and you can see how many viewers are there. So I have, for the sake of discussion, I have 5 people who auto host me, and 3 of them usually aren't on their channels when it's happening, right? They're logged off or something like that. And so it'll come up and say, you're being auto hosted by, and there's another Rainbow, Paisley for 0 viewers or 3 viewers. Because
so it will say it for 0.
Yeah, it'll say for 0 or 3 or 5 or however many it is.
Okay.
And usually people have bots in their channels, right? Like your stream elements or something like that, and that counts as a viewer. So the auto hosts, even if they're just auto hosts with no actual people and just the bots, that's 2 per. So 3 auto hosts and use 6 viewers, even though there's no actual people.
Yeah, I got a couple bots watching right now. Good old electric skateboard is here.
Yeah, there's 2 electric skateboards now.
Now, is that something that Twitch official, the company, set up, or is that like some kind of, that's some person set up a thing?
Yeah, so there's a couple of them that are running around, and it's somebody who's doing it. And when they got confronted about it, the person said, I'm not trying to do anything nefarious. I'm just following every single channel on Twitch and becoming the most, like I watch so blah, blah, blah. So they get all the points, all the frequent bonuses, that frequent watching accrues.
Wow.
And in my case, I ban them. If I find them in my channel, I will block. Because you can't ban them. Here's the thing. You normally can't ban somebody from your channel if they're just watching. They have to post in your channel in order for you to be able to click on it and ban it. The only other way you can do that is to blacklist their names. So I've blacklisted a couple of the other bots and that kind of stuff like that. And it works well because it then doesn't take away the viewership bonuses that actual people get from watching the show.
I didn't know there was a competition for that.
Well, you can set it up. In my case,
yes, you can set it up. Yeah.
Right. So it's whoever you get dark rainbows every 5 minutes for watching, and then you can spend them on nothing at this point in time because whatever. Normally, people will say stuff like, "Oh, if you have X amount, then you can do song requests or something." But I just play people's songs anyway. If they're good, if they're not, I just make fun of them.
Yes.
One of the two. I'll play your song request if it's decent. Otherwise, I'll just tease you on the stream for having bad musical taste.
Well, is there? I haven't figured out whether I should engage in the giving XP or gold pieces or whatever on my Discord chat and my Twitch chat. Both of them you can do that. Like, you leveled up because you've chatted so many times. I guess the point is to encourage people to type chats.
Sure, right? Because everyone likes these little like achievement thingies and
yeah.
In terms of like the on-stream stuff, there's other things too, right? You can have like giveaways and all sorts of things, like a little roulette and just games that the chatters can play in the stream while you're doing your stream.
I've seen that.
Like, and
okay,
like,
and that's just to keep people like tapped in so that they're like kind of dual screening. Like instead of them going to read Twitter, they're reading the chat room while they watch your show.
Exactly. A lot of people who interact with, at least in my program, because, you know, I'm IRL streamer, which means there's, depending on what's going on, it can be exciting or kind of boring or whatever. So lots of people have multiple things open while they're paying attention. And if shit goes off, then they'll, you know, tab back into the right tab. Otherwise, they're just kind of doing their thing, listening to the music and whatever. So it's just that. Just that. And I'm an hour from having to leave.
Understood. The drumsticks are out. It's a chit-chatty day as well as a gaming day. It's already an interesting gaming session. You know, maybe there's something good to having fewer players in the game at once and being able to talk back and forth with each individual and hear a little bit longer, you know, world building and understand your backstories more. Right now, we exist. We are in this world. We're on the outskirts of the city of Havar'Ti at the beginning of this episode, and Havar'Ti the dog is sort of sniffing around for any tracks of the one whom cursed him some years ago, and is considering possibly stopping by some Brotherhood hideout, secret HQ headquarter location, which you guys might know where that is on the map. I don't even. We'll find that though. And, you know, and asking if they've gotten any rumors or word about that attacker or any other missions that you might want to engage in. While Havar'Ti the dog is walking along, sniffing near the western gate of Havar'Ti, the deposed King Ku is walking by, muttering about pearls and such, and getting his whiskers raised up. What do you guys want to do? I guess Takisha is still, she's off to the side, so I'll move Takisha and Chibba Kit. They're off doing their own thing right now.
As far as that goes, and as far as seeking out information, I think he leaves most of that to Takisha. And just kind of conferring with her back again, kind of sticking to his motive of having as few people know about me as possible. But just whatever contacts within the Brotherhood as far as the research they've done for that, he'd always be interested and want to hear from Takisha what she found out after he checked.
Okay. I'll say I am gonna not play that part episodically, but I'm gonna instead let you and Takisha tell me on the map where you want to go to figure that out, and we'll figure it out in game. Because I don't know yet. I haven't planned that ahead, Chris. So I won't do that one episodically in terms of saying like, oh, Takisha found out yesterday that the witch is over there. More like we'll start here at the Western Gate, and Takisha's still on the phone call, but Lex is interacting with us. We'll figure out what, let's move tokens and let you go to some place where you can find out stuff about the witch. Lex, how soon until you can get on actual voice? Do you know? That's pretty cool that you're able to listen to us while you're moving forward, though. Okay. Honestly, not sure. So Lex is holding on to an idea. Okay, and so something happens just here. Havar'Ti Hey, I want to set up a I haven't done this yet, but in the future of this campaign, I'm going to set up some kind of a cool API thing for rotating your token. Are you looking at your token, Chris?
Yep.
I'm going to set one up so that if you select your token and move to the right, that it'll turn the dog's head to the right, and if you move to the left, it'll turn his head back to the left. Because it would look
cool.
Right now, I'm going to do it.
Cool.
I'm going to do it manually right now, just to. So this is what you would look like if you were turned to the right and you were, walking into the city the proper way. So that's the appearance right now. And as you keep sniffing at the ground and you're kind of looking for any clues or the next or some sorts of food, whatever dogs do, something jumps down on you off of an upper railing of this gate. This is the city gate right here, and something jumps down on your back and swats at your tail with a.
Would definitely jump up and snarl and try to figure out what the hell it was.
Okay, probably zoom. I don't know how zoomed you are, but
I didn't pick up the scent before.
Yeah, you didn't notice it was a danger. I know you have the 60-foot danger sense. That's true. In regards to that, I'll say, as you was coming into the city, you're starting to smell, the mini dangers of the city. You didn't notice an immediate danger. You were just like, oh, there's a rat over there. There's a possum over there. There's a vagrant over there. There's an evil priest walking down the sidewalk over there. You were like, oh my God, sensory overload. And all of a sudden the cat jumped down and started biting at your tail, which it thought was some kind of maybe it thought was, a snake, or just maybe it's after you. I don't know. It seems to be some kind of a black cat, and it said, and then it said, roll for initiative.
Would definitely buck it off. And,
okay.
After bucking it off, would bar my teeth and growl and try to intimidate it with my NWP.
All right. You can go ahead and roll your NWP, but it will take place on your initiative. King Ku, you've just walked through the city gates into the bustling city of Havar'Ti, which, by the way, for a fantasy world, this is a huge city. We're talking like a Manhattan, New York City, Newark, New Jersey type of deal here. It's got like city on both sides of a river, and it leads off into the ocean. But you've walked under this grand western gate, and the dog is following nearby behind you, and it just got attacked by a stupid cat in the city. And you notice the dog starting to growl at the cat. So basically, you've entered the city, and a dog and cat are fighting.
So I presume I noticed the cat falling onto the dog, or jumping, I should say, not falling as directly. And I will, and did the cat, so my observation is, did the cat like cling onto the back of the dog, or did it just like hit the dog and then fall off to the side?
I'll say probably more the clinging method. Like came down, the claws are out, the teeth are out.
All right. Well, dog and cat fight. I learned my lesson a long time ago to, hit them both with the flat of my sword. I mean, not interfere with the dog and cat fight.
Oh, okay. Which one is it? Okay. All right. The second.
Yeah. I'm going to look at what's going on. Fucking cats.
Cool.
Shake my head and contemplate so we walked in from which side? The west side here?
Yeah, you're going east. You're moving eastward.
So I'm at this point fairly convinced that the only thing I'm interested in is getting out of this damn desert heat and sand, all the sand in my sandals, and I want to get into the pub.
Oh, into a nice air-conditioned pub.
Bloody pub.
Oh. Yes, there are several. You'll come across several on this road as you go.
Yep, and so my buddy Haedrig and I had our little fast friendship develop at a pub. So I'm fairly convinced that these mainlanders love drinking alcohol, and consequently. I wish to do it with them, bond with them, so I can blend more amongst their kind and not be easily found out. So,
okay, good point.
Just kind of laugh at the fight happening here, and not take unless, of course, Havar'Ti dies, which, of course, in case I'll kill the cat.
Symbolically, I'm just going to move your token a little bit more into the city, just basically saying, you're 20 yards ahead or so now.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
And the cat dog fight is behind. And this is not really like a monster D&D fight. It's a role-playing scenario. But so Havar'Ti, how do you react to being attacked by a dog at the city gates? By being a dog being attacked by a cat at the city gates.
He attempts to buck it off of its back and again snarling, growling its teeth.
Your check is successful.
Attempting to intimidate it to scare it away.
Yeah, you successfully intimidate the cat, and it moves off behind this. Can you move your token a little bit so I can select the cat? I'm so zoomed out, it's hard to catch things. Okay. The cat moves back over behind this pole, like it kind of retreats with a... Okay. Any further communication in said epic D&D battle, or move on into the city?
No, he just sees it as a stray cat within the city, and while he probably would be okay to have the cat as food, he knows that's not accepted within the city and with the religion. So he's gonna leave it be.
You can catch up to King Ku on the road right here, and then we'll proceed from there in the mode of map exploration, sort of reasonable movement rates. So let's take a round. So you see several intersections up ahead. You see some labeled buildings. We also have a habit in this game of the fact that, I'll just reiterate this, the unlabeled buildings often are eligible to be labeled by you with the Roll20 writing tool just now. So you can add to the world building if there's a feature of the city that you want to exist. I'll veto it if absolutely necessary. But there's already there's
I see that.
Places labeled things like blow and things like that on the map.
Massage.
So,
I mean,
yes.
I don't know if I need a legit massage, but I definitely need some places. So I feel like I need to make I feel like there's a missed opportunity for a bar, a pub kind of thing near the city gate, to be honest with you, next to Coochie Town. But
I wish that Jesse was here, because he had a good grasp on the overall map to tell us if there is one. But why don't you just make a new one? Like pick a nice building and make one.
Yeah, I'm going to. I just need to find one. Oh wait, I see.
Havar'Ti, when Ku goes into a beverage establishment, is the dog going to go in with him? Because I'm going to copy the tokens and maybe take you guys onto a bar map. I'm deciding that just now.
What time of day is it?
Where'd Ku go?
I'm down at the I went south.
South? Okay. All right. Now I see you. Thank you. I'm going to say the time of day. I'll let you set it, Chris, because, since we played episodic, you guys kind of were somewhere and rested and now decided to come here. So did you have a late start to the morning or an afternoon to go drinking, or is this the beginning of a new day?
Yeah, I can't. What?
Say it's probably mid-morning. Q doesn't seem to have any care as far as what time he starts drinking, so I don't think that's an issue.
Oh, yeah, no. All right, so I named the bar. It's the Blood Axe.
Cool. Oh, I see it. Cool. All right. I think I actually have an interior map of the Blood Axe. So let's go ahead and try a new interior map. I've got your 2 tokens copied. Havar'Ti, you said you would probably enter.
He would actually make a detour. He figured Ku's probably going to be at the bar for a while. He usually is once he gets drinking, unless he decides to wander off. But
okay,
Havar'Ti's going to make a detour.
Fair enough. On that note, with Ku having another 40 minutes to play, and Havar'Ti being the central leader of this quest, I think I will not port us to a tavern map, and we'll stick with Havar'Ti's token out here. So Ku's parked at the Blood Axe Inn, and Havar'Ti's kind of a dog on his own in the city. You could go to black parts of the map and waggle your ruler tool, and I will open those up or pursue whichever route you want.
I think just the only thing I've already had in mind is what he normally does whenever he returns to the city, if he does venture out, is just visiting the markets in the morning, stealing what fish he can, stealing what food he can, and then dropping it off to the local orphans that are around there that he kind of looks after and takes care of, and just kind of see how they're doing before
I love that you
returning
do
back
that.
to Ku.
I forgot that's what you do. I like that a lot. That's really cool. So I will take you to the market. Go back to the central east-west avenue and go east all the way into the blackness. And then I'll show you the way. I'm zooming myself out, but you can stay on whatever zoom's good for you. Yeah, keep heading east from there, and I will free up map for you. I'm going to free up that whole road for you, all the way down to there. Okay, and more you can see. You're starting to pass some larger buildings as you're getting closer to the downtown. When you get to this intersection over here, you'll go north. Something's labeled right there. What is that building right there that's labeled?
House of the Witches.
House of the Witches. Huh. So I guess as you go by there, the hair on your back stands up a little bit, doesn't it?
You'd say so. It'd depend if it's something that he was aware of or not. But if it was,
I think no. What I'm saying is, if you're not aware of it, you have instincts, both as a dog and as a wizened breed dog. So I'm saying, as you walk past that, you're like, what's up with that creepy house?
He'd probably poke around, see if there's any way to see through the front without hopping into the window or anything. See if there's any sense he picks up, and circling around the building if there's not.
All right. There's some broken windows on the building. No one looks to be home. You see some cobwebs on the inside, and you thought you saw some lights flash from the upstairs.
He'll look around the back, see if there's any back door or anything that's there.
Okay. There's a back door, but it seems to be closed to a dog. You can't really turn the handle to see if it's locked or not. There is a back door. There's a back porch. On the porch, you find a dead rat right by the back door.
Fresh dead rat or long dead rat?
Not super long, like fairly fresh. Not like 10 minutes though. Like 8 hours. Smelly.
He'd keep mind that it's there and probably stay watch on the front of the porch, kind of lay down on the porch and listen.
Okay.
See if any new scents come up, if any new sounds arise.
All right. For 10 minutes, nothing unusual. Just people walking by out front. A cat crawls around under the porch. A raven alights on the roof of the building. And, there is traffic in the city. This is a populous city, and I can't pack the road map with as many tokens of people as there actually would be. So imagine a bustling city of various races and species. Some giants even live in this town, and since you're near the downtown where they reside, a few are probably walking through this area. You notice you notice only customers going to the market. The actual marketeer salesmen have long since passed this way and are already set up and starting to sell out of their goods as it comes on into mid-morning at the market. And do you want to stay for longer after you stayed for 10 minutes and sort of mundane things occur?
No, I think he'd probably take note of it. And in fact, on the side of the building or in the back of the building, somewhere where maybe there's a little dirt patch or even just on some softwood, with his paw, he'll lightly carve out in Thieves' Cant a note for himself to, a mark saying this is a building to come back to, basically.
All right. Can you use the Roll20 drawing tool and draw that kind of mark, like on the map right there?
Yep.
Not like teeny tiny. Keep in mind, I'd like to see it when I'm quite zoomed out. So about as big as your token or so. I get that the mark would actually be smaller. It would be paw size. I thought you were going to pee on the building for a second, but you scratch out a mark in Thieves' Cant.
That's after this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's so in case he tells Takisha about it later, Takisha can come by and check it out maybe at night.
How many strokes are in the mark? Approximately?
Probably just 3 or 4.
Yeah. On about the third stroke, you see something very thin, small, and black start to come out from between a crack in the wood on the side of the building. So if the wood was like, picture like a cabin or something, so there's boards, and kind of in between the boards, how like there's mortar or like a little crack. So a small black leg emerges, and then another, and then another.
Like out of the wood?
Yeah, black legs, kind of not human-sized legs, little legs. It's just a few inches away from your nose or from your claws, and a fourth leg comes out, and you're currently making the third mark of your Thieves' Cant interaction, and a fifth leg comes out.
Definitely back up a couple feet, and is it a scent I recognize at all?
I would love to know that. We need a dog expert. Chris, I'll ask you because I know you know dogs. I honestly don't know if this kind of creature, to me, it has no smell. To me, you could put your nose right up to this, and I don't think that you would smell it. Can a dog smell it? I don't know. I know for sure that dogs react to this kind of movement, so I feel like they visually see it a little wiggly. They see a little wiggly thing. Cats see it even more than dogs do.
Dogs have a sense of smell which is roughly 8 million times greater than that of a human.
And my question is, do arachnids emit a scent, or are they without smell?
They smell like evil.
Okay. I guess you smell an evil spider.
If all arachnids do or not, but I know there are definitely kinds that smell freaking gross.
Really? Like, I know ants smell. Like, if you smash an ant, they let off a smell signal. So, and and also I think they use little dots of smell to mark the path.
Gotcha.
So I don't know about spiders.
Just when he sees the legs come out, he'd back up a couple feet and watch cautiously.
All right. You do not complete making your thief's mark unless you choose to reapproach the spider. The spider now guards the area where you were making a thief's mark with your claws.
I think rather than finish the mark from where he's at, he'll lift a leg up and he, not on the spider, but towards the spider, just,
Okay.
Something to recognize that he can go back.
So we got 5 legs out. Spiders end up having 8 legs when it comes all the way out. I don't know if they have fingers. I do know that they have little tiny microscopic hairs on their legs. And it lifts the middle hair up on the middle leg. You feel that the spider somehow like glared at you or possibly flipped you off.
Hopefully aiming to hit the spider once he does that.
D20 +1 +1. We'll see if you hit the spider. It retreats into the gap in the wood before you're able to hit it. You leave dog pee dripping down your partially completed Thieves' Cant mark, and probably vacate the scene from there.
If he went back inside, I'll finish the mark as well.
Oh, okay. You return to the wall and start finishing the mark, and as you're doing it, the legs come out.
It'll just hurriedly attempt to finish it.
Oh, okay. 3 legs are out. Okay, the 4th leg came out, and you're finished with the mark.
and he will go ahead and swing to the front of the building, pick
Okay.
up the dead rat, and then continue on his way.
Oh, you grab the rat too. Okay, you go around the building, grab the rat. The spider comes back out and stands above the thieves' cant. It appears to watch you leave with its little compound eyes, 1,000 eyes. Watch you leave.
As I'm walking past it, I guess I would stand there and stare at it for a while with the rat in my mouth.
You have a glare down with the with the spider with the rat dangling from your mouth. All right, do you want to proceed to the next scene?
Yeah.
Okay, good job. So all that happened. Let's see. I should probably get out my city. I need to get out my city random roller. I got a thing called City System from Forgotten Realms, so we'll throw in a couple of random city encounters as we go. But on map, you should be able to see the market. You know, of course, I could have filled that in with a lot more icons. It's more densely packed than I illustrated it on the map. But it's just to the north and the east of your current position. So as you get into the market, either Chris and Silk can chit chat or role play for a couple minutes while I go get my city system, or take a 5-minute break. Either one. And I'll be right back with city system to help figure out what happens in the marketplace. But generally, Chris, you're going to the market to steal fish, or you get given fish for charity?
Steal fish. I think Havar'Ti would probably know some vendors that, you know, will give him, you know, the yesterday's fish that aren't selling or something. Like they'll give him little bits here and there that they can't sell, and he knows which ones kind of do that, and he'll visit them first. And
love it.
after that, he probably knows which vendors are the most gullible or the most easily distracted. So the ones that are busy and dealing with, you know, a lot of customers, and you know, while they may be watching for human hands from stealing things, maybe a little bit less aware of a stray dog coming by.
Okay. I love that story. So all that stuff will happen as you envision it. That will definitely be part of your adventure in the market. You know, stealing some fish and getting some given to you by people that you have a relationship with in the past. They'll, you know, recognize you and say good boy to you. And then from there, you'll go on to deliver some of the fish to some of your charitable beneficiaries, your friends, some of the more chronically malnourished humans of the city and other animals who you deliver the goods to. So all that happens, but we'll play through that and see if anything random and urban happens along the way. So for that, I'm grabbing my table, my book with my tables just now, and I'll be back in 2 minutes with that.
All right.
Random and urban. I feel like we're going to run into Tank Man. That's also like where I live. Just random and urban. I got into a fight last week, actually, before. Well, yeah, like last week on Wednesday, I think, downstairs out in the park in the alleyway. There was like these 4 people fighting, 3 men and this teenage kid. And I was listening to it. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and it was all happening in the alley. And I was just listening. It was really loud, you know, the kind where you mute your music so you can hear what's going on outside. And I was going to stay in. Like, I wasn't going to get involved until I heard the kid say, "Hey, I'm a kid. You're an adult. You can't put your hands on me like that." Like, oh, man, fuck. Now I have to go outside. So I put on my clothes and shit and went out. And it took a while, but I calmed everybody down. I got the kid out of here and dealt with the people that lived here and stuff. I was super nervous. And I actually had to pull my mace out and like get everyone to back the fuck away from everything they were doing. Like, do you know what this is? I'll mace you if you don't let go of that fucking kid. Like, okay, sorry, man. I'm like, what the and then after they separate and break, right, and the kid's getting away, I turn on one of the adult guys and I'm like, Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's a kid. That's 16-year-old kid. You're an adult in your late 30s or something. You will go to jail in a weird way for what's just occurred here. You got to stop. Fuck with that kid. And the guy's like, oh, well, he broke my shit. I'm like, yeah, I dig it. I dig it. Take him to small claims court. Don't hit him. Take him to court. They'll just take the money out of his pocket. And if he doesn't have it, they'll take it from his parents. They'll hit him. Don't worry. You don't have to. I mean, like, I get it in the heat of the moment, you're all pissy and shit like that, but man, you can't just like get all and one of the guys had an ice axe in his hand. I mean, tensions were ratcheting up and up and up. And I'm talking to the guy, I'm like, what is that in your hand? And he's looking at it. Look, what? Fucking put the goddamn axe down, man. How can anyone have a conversation when you're holding an axe? And he just looked at me. I'm like, seriously, put it down. Who are you? Like, are you scared of this little kid here? I mean, he wasn't a little kid. Let's be clear. These are, full-grown adult teenager sorts, and they're late teens and stuff. So you know what I mean? But like, are you scared of this kid? Like, he's scared of you. That's why he's out here asking me to help. So you're both scared. Could you put the axe down so we can just like bring this down a little bit? Holy shit, man. And then the kid I was helping, like seriously, like I'd done all this work to get everyone's tensions down, to get him into his car so we could leave. Like his car was in my parking garage, and the people who lived here weren't letting him they weren't going to open the garage unless he gave them money. So they were just going to keep his car. Like, you can't fucking do that. So I opened the garage, and as the kid gets in his car and he starts driving away, he gets his phone out and he starts to film everything. And so he rolls his window down, and because he was visiting, like he was friends with this other kid who lived here, right? So that's how he's here, and that's the whole scenario. But then this kid who lived here, his dad and friend get involved. So that's what's going on. And so I say to the kid, just drive your fucking car home and go home, right? Just get out of here. And he's driving away, filming the whole thing. He yells to his ex-friend, "You fucking punk," which causes said ex-friend to cease being cool and run all the way to the front of the parking garage to hit the emergency stop button on the door so it no longer raises. So he hits the button, and the thing is like halfway, and the kid is there, and he's filming, right? And one kid yells to his dad, "Dad, grab the phone away from Jimmy." And Dad's like, "All right," and runs over and grabs fucking Jimmy through the car window, right? And he's grabbing Jimmy. He's got his hands in, trying to get the phone, and Jimmy's all like fucking pulling back and filming and shit like that, right? And that's when I pull out the mace, and I say, "Okay, you've got to not do this, and let go of the fucking door and take your hands off that kid." And they both do. Let go of the door, and they take their hand off the kid. The kid drives away. And then I spend the next hour, just talking with them and trying to get them to calm down and everything. And I explained how the small claims court system works. In Washington State, small claims is $5,000. So anything under $5,000 you can bring yourself, right? So they didn't know it. They thought it was $500, and so there'd be no value. I'm like, no, it's $5,000. Go get your money. If that kid did all that damage to your vehicle and stuff, then yeah, you should get that repaired and covered. No doubt. But you don't hit the kids. So off they went.
Yeah, some people don't think.
Right. And then I got really nervous about like being here because like once it was all done, like, the kid left. And like the kid drove out, and then the people that were here were walking back down into the parking garage, and they said something like "watch your back," and I fucking like changed from being conciliatory and trying to diffuse to "did you just threaten me?" And the kid was like, "No, I didn't threaten you. I just said I don't want it. I don't want to have any hassle." Like, I don't want to have any hassle either. I just want peace and calm and tranquility. I just want everything to be happy and cool and relaxed, right? No worries. I don't want you to worry about anything. No, I don't want to worry about anything. And they're like, yeah, we don't want to worry about anything either. So I spent all night worrying about things. So it's 2 o'clock, which means I need to leave in like 20 minutes. Give or take. Because this appointment is downtown, which doesn't take me too long to get to unless there's weird traffic, and unfortunately in Seattle. It can be a 10-minute drive normally, but because of the traffic, it can take you over 40 minutes to get there. Arg.
Arg. Yeah, we understand you got an appointment today, so whenever you have to go, have safe travels. Good luck getting there.
Thanks.
This could be a picture of the inn that you're in right now.
Could be a picture of the inn.
Okay, Chris, let's see if you have any encounters in the market. Any random encounters in the market. Services. The buildings. All right, Chris, roll a D120 for me, Chris. Go ahead and roll 3 of them, I guess. Okay, 64, 89, and 120. 64. Okay, as you're going through the market and you've gotten a little bit of a initial fish stealing from somebody that wasn't looking, and you're trying to get some more. You know, you're back for another round, and you see some porters unloading a wagon.
He wouldn't really pay too much interest in it unless
Mm-hmm.
he overheard them speaking about something in anything in particular, or unless he saw something peek out from there. But
they ultimately become background color for the city, because although they are speaking about things, as you listen to them for a few minutes, they're accounting for this and that, and, you know, furniture and nails, and, you know, paying off things, and whether or not they paid the tariffs and the taxes and things like that. So it seems fairly inconsequential to you. And then later in your experience in the market, you come across some bearers, large cloth burdens.
then what? I'm sorry.
Large cloth burdens. Burdens meaning they're just weighted down with what they're carrying. So large rolled up bolts of cloth or rugs.
Gotcha.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And
he just thinks it's part of everyday market activity.
okay.
He's just here for the fish. I mean, he obviously still keeps an eye and ear out for anything for the Brotherhood, but for the most part, he's just here to grab some food and get away without getting caught.
Yep. Fair enough. So as you go on to the next nearby seafood vendor, passing up the guys that are carrying the rolled bolts of cloth, just out of the corner of your eyes, you notice that the place that the guys are delivering the rolled bolts of cloth to has hovering above it a merchant owner of that particular stall who is sitting cross-legged on his flying carpet.
Party would definitely pique interest in that, as far as, you know, who the person is. Is it someone familiar that he's seen before in the market, or is it someone new?
This is going to be somebody from kind of an Al-Qadim world setting, which would be a branch of Forgotten Realms, but ported over to Homebrew World here. So this would be the inspired by Arabian fantasies, like 1001 Nights. So there's a guy riding a flying carpet there with a long twirling mustache, some kind of like MC Hammer kind of poofy pants on, kind of a pirate shirt, kind of an olive skin. His hair is blowing, his black hair is blowing in the wind.
And is it someone that he's seen in the market before, or is it someone new?
Let me see. Okay, this is someone new. He's opened up a new carpet and textile vendor here. He seems to be familiar with the ways of the urban marketplace. He seems to be a merchant seller, but not from this city. From a different city, in other words.
I think he'd kind of walk past the stall or the tent that he has set up and just take a quick glance at what's around. See if there's like what kind of stuff he's selling, if it seems like a lot of people are attracted to him.
Okay.
Kind of monitor his activities for a couple minutes.
Carpets of various sizes and thickness, including their specialized things, like sort of like low pile cat pee resistant carpets for those who have a lot of cats, and then there's kind of like, you know, giant friendly super plushy carpets that, you know, won't get worn down by giant feet. So he's hitting different levels and markets, and you know, you can see that towards the back, deeper into the tent, the kind of narrow aisles and rows of products going back into the tent, that things increase in value. There's some nicer carpets, more protected towards the back. He has a number of employees.
Gotcha. So he'll keep note of that and just save it for later. Pass it on to Takisha at some point.
Okay.
Just to inform the Brotherhood. They probably already know, but just letting them know in case they didn't. Hey, this new person's here. This is kind of what's going on.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom check for the dog. So it's a d20. You're trying to roll low. Okay, success. Unless you got a horrible wisdom. I think you have.
I have a wisdom of 5, so that.
Yeah, you have a poor wisdom, but a spectacular roll. You hit the nail on the head, and you wisely intuit that this wealthy foreign carpet vendor, who obviously owns a flying carpet himself, which he floats over and, you know, keeps a watchful eye on his product. He probably also has one or more flying carpets for sale in the expensive section. So when you go to tell the Brotherhood, that's probably part of what you would tell them. You'd say, I saw a carpet vendor who has flying carpets for sale in the marketplace.
Got it. Yep, you would.
All right. Okay, with that said, you know, we could play more of the details here in the market and RP that, but let's do it narratively. So everything else that you said, described, and expected is what happens here. So in addition to those 3 randomized encounters of people, you shop around the market for quite a few hours, grabbing fish, and I feel like you collect fish, go to some of your beneficiaries, come back and get more fish, and go again. So over a period of time, you collect several hauls and go out into the city. So next, let's play out, not quite linearly necessarily, since there may be some going and coming back, but the next step will be you can go through some of the blackness on the map and choose a neighborhood that you want to benefit the kids there. And we'll also do some, I'll see if I have any encounters planned there, or we'll roll for some random city stuff and see what happens while you're out on your distribution runs. So this is kind of a Meals on Wheels type of program. We've got a generous dog here who, in a lawful good fashion, he always had a charitable heart, and now he's, you know what? Oh, so you are back in the market, Chris, and you approach a stall that you've stolen the fish from before, and the market vendor glares at you and says, "Away, dog, shoo." And due to your lawful inclinations, you opt not to steal from him.
No, he'll stare at him and feel guilty, but at the same time, he's also lawful toward, you know, those he's helping. So he probably would drop what he has for that vendor, but
Yeah, basically the way you feel now because of the way that the
He's
monitor
guilty because he
angel.
got caught. He's guilty because he got caught. Is mostly.
Well, what the monitor angel has made you think is that I get what you're saying about the ethical challenge between feeding the hungry and not stealing from the market vendor, but you know that in this organized city, the law would be don't steal from the vendor, and the hungry people, whatever, are supposed to get a job, apply at some place for services. So you now do the monitor. Yeah, you feel guilty about before, but you also feel the only way you could legit get fish from this guy is if you compensate him. So you're thinking money. So you're either thinking pay this guy or just get the fish you want from the guys that willingly donated it to you, because stealing is kind of off your list right now.
I think that would be okay, and he'd probably do a little bit of begging for the other ones, acting like, hey, I'm still hungry, or whatever the case may be, see if they might give him any more scrap.
All right.
That he could take over.
All right. Roll a charisma check and tell me how many points differentiated from your charisma that it is. Hopefully it's better than your charisma by a few points.
My charisma is 6, so a difference of 2.
Oh, okay. So worse by 2. Worse by 2. Roll D100 minus 20 and roll it twice. Okay, you obtain a total of those together. That's going to be 41. You obtain a total of 41% of the fish that you wanted. So if you were there looking for, 10 fish, you begged and you got 4 fish. You wanted to steal 6 more fish, but your guilt got to you and you can't steal them. So you've either got to get money and buy the other 6 or come up short by about 59%. So 59% of your beneficiary kids are going to go hungry unless you find out some lawful resolution.
He doesn't carry or pay with coin because he doesn't have any coin other than what's stored. But
right. Have you seen that? There's a Twitter meme going around now. It's who knows if it's a true story or not, but it's this freaking dog that every day the dog saw people go into this this counter place that sold food and give money and get food. So the dog started showing up with a leaf in its mouth and paying the people at the counter a leaf to receive food.
I have not seen it, but that sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty funny, huh? Like he learned it. He was like, oh, you just give them a piece of paper and they give you food. Okay.
I believe that probably could happen.
Okay, so what do you do? How do you? Let's see. I get you don't have coins, but
let me interrupt for just a second, folks.
Sure.
I have to go. Thank you so much for the game today.
Good luck.
Forward to playing next. Good luck yourself, Havar'Ti.
All right, we'll see you this week on RainbowSilks IRL streams on Twitch. Thanks.
Cheers.
And good luck at your appointment. Feel chill while you're there. Talk to you later.
I'll try.
Don't scream too much.
I won't scream too much. I mean, the appropriate amount, but not too much.
Ouch.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
See you later.
Okay, Havar'Ti, the attempting to be lawful dog. Let's see. You don't have cash, so what's your next approach? You were saying it before.
He'll deliver what he has. He'll supplement it with the rat that he took.
Nice.
It's like the kids are used to scavenging what they can and scavenging what they can. So
right.
I mean, they'll know how to prepare it at least to the best of their ability.
Well, we're going to find that out right now.
And
so
he'll also use his senses to maybe try to hunt down some more rats or other things within the city just for extra food. If it seems like, hey, they still need more to eat and whatnot.
Okay. I've rolled up the collective intelligence of the kids and their collective constitution. So you will roll for the kids, 1d20 trying to roll under their intelligence to see if they know how to cook and prepare the rat. and then another to see if they are sickened if they didn't know how to prepare it. Turns out they did know how to prepare it, and even though they prepared it properly, their constitution failed on them, and the rat was carrying something that made them a little bit ill. So those who ate the fish feel fine. Those who shared the rat that had been killed by the witch's cat contract some sort of stomach illness, non-fatal.
Right.
Yeah. Let's find a neighborhood. Why don't you pick between either the city block that is to the north, northwest, west, southwest, or south of you. Don't go east or northeast or southeast because those are going to be into the downtown. But there's city blocks. Okay, you'll take that city block. All right, let me clear that one up for you, and then that way you get some more free map, and we'll find out what happens in there. You can mark within this city block a few of the houses of your beneficiaries, or draw a straight line, like a path through which roads you go through, and you go this way and then that way and then that way and visit this house and that house and that house. Probably not the fancy expensive houses on the main road, but the interior of the city block.
Yeah, and it probably wouldn't even be in houses. It would probably be in different alleys, or maybe even some abandoned house that's broken down and kind of just left to rot.
Very good. Good point. You
Probably
can still put
somewhere inside.
Draw some kind of a path through there, and I'll roll some things and see what happens there. Okay, yeah, like that, exactly. I was thinking something like that. Good job. And you can finish the path out to where you go back out on a different side or something. And let me see what ward this is in. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, let me make sure it's, yep, there's still 120. So roll 4 D120s for me.
For what, I'm sorry?
It's a dice called a D120. It suits this particular table in this book. And do those like 4 times. So 23, okay. Yeah, as you're going through one of the alleys, you see a broken down wagon that has been just let, in our modern world, the analog for this would be, how sometimes when you're like more out in the country and people have like old broken down cars in their yard.
Yep.
And you know how sometimes when you see one of those old broken down cars, it will be like some old farmer's pickup truck from like 1937 or something. Yep. Like this old like rusted, and it looks like real classic Americana, like the tires are all rotted out and there's weeds growing up all around it. So you see basically a crashed wagon that's been, abandoned, and basically has weeds and growing out of it, and birds' nests in the what's left of the canvas, the tattered canvas.
You'd probably see if you could scavenge anything from it.
Okay.
He figures it's probably already been scavenged through, since it seems like it's been there a while, but he figures doesn't hurt to take a minute to look around.
Sure.
To the best that he can.
3. What's a good score? I want to call for perception checks, but not if your perception's horrible. What's something that you use advantageously as a dog that helps you?
Perception.
Perception. Okay, so three perceptions. Ooh, a natural 1 and a 19. Okay, so you don't find one thing, but you do find another. You find a board in the floor of the wagon that is cracked and looks like it can lift open to a possible compartment.
Go ahead and put his heavy paw down on it. See if it either pushes through or kind of teeters to the point to where it can.
All right. Something soft and mushy is in there. Something is under the board that as you push it, it has resistance. It caves in a little bit and then pushes back.
I'll see if he can pull the board out with his teeth or bash it a few times with his paw, see if it breaks through.
You manage to break through, and sadly, grotesquely for D&D, you find a malnourished child in there with his eyes, his stomach, what's that called? Like that happens, like engorged, or he's a starving child. And he hasn't got the energy to push back on the board. He's looking around with spacey eyes. He's all by himself here.
They'll see if he can kind of coax the kid out, if it's still alive.
Okay. He is still alive. He's
Stiff
in game terms, I'll call it like a 1 hit point, not a 0 hit point thing. So he's conscious. He's just in poor health.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Does it look like he's stuck? Does it look like he's pinned, or is he just too weak?
He looks
to
like
crawl out?
he went in there to hide, and then he called for help, and no one came and helped him. So he just ended up wasting away in there. He's maybe been in there for several days.
Gotcha.
He called for help, and his cries grew weaker and weaker.
And so it doesn't seem like the kid's pinned. It was just the boards that were kind of blocking its way.
Yeah, he chose to go in there, for protection, for shelter, originally. But then he's kind of like lost the energy and the strength to make his way out. So you managed to break him free. He seems intimidated, malnourished. I don't want to say unconscious. What's another word for like the frame of mind that you would be in if you're like so spacey that you're so hungry that you're not even seeing straight or thinking too clearly. You're woozy. He's woozy and malnourished.
Gotcha.
Sorry for this the downer. The good news is you're on a charity mission.
Clever. So he'd see if he can loosen up any of the other boards around him to kind of give him enough space to get out or maybe be pulled out.
Okay. He sits up in there and uses his weak arms to kind of push himself up to a seated position. And he's kind of scoots back away from you a little bit. He's checking you out to see if you're there to, gnaw on his toe, cannibalize him, or, like he kind of expects maybe some street dog is just going to go ahead and finish me off right now.
I'll go ahead and kind of sit upright and stare at him for a second before lying down and looking at him, just to let him know that, he's not here to eat him.
Oh, what a sweet dog. Chris, I love in terms of RP how in real life how dogs act and stuff, so their symbols. Another really funny meme I saw on Twitter the other day, it's got this freaking dog, which is probably like a herd dog, like rounds up animals and stuff, and it approaches this herd of cows, and the cows are all kind of like looking at him nervously, and and the dog's wagging his tail. He's real excited, and then after a minute the dog like lays down to let him know that, just like you're describing, like lays down in that way that symbolizes like, oh, I'm not a threat. And all the cows come over and start kissing the dog with their big cow noses. It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that's basically what Havar'Ti does.
Okay. This kid, I've rolled up some things about his personality. He's not the type that's going to come over there and like hug you around the neck. I mean, if he was maybe healthy and happy and had been playing ball all day and woke up in a bed, then he probably would come over there and be like, ooh, a dog, fun. But right now he's like, he's more wary of you than you are of him, even though you're sending him the signal of, I'm not a threat. So he's not in a state of mind to make judgment calls about who's a threat to him or not. He's feeling that everything is a threat.
Gotcha. Havar'Ti will look around where he's at, see if there's any people around.
There's people in the street, and they seem to just walk by this wagon, like like passing by a junkyard that they pass on their way to work every day.
Havar'Ti will kind of put his head into the wagon a bit slowly and not quickly to scare him, and he'll kind of say as softly as he can, it's okay, follow me and we'll get you some help.
Oh my god! Oh my god! In common?
Yeah.
Ah!
Just softly with his head in the wagon as if someone's passing by.
Oh my god,
they
that's
wouldn't
so
necessarily
funny.
be able to pick up that it was him.
There's so many great movies that are based on that same trope. Like a kid comes across an animal and the animal talks to him, and then they go around the humans and they're like, "This dog talks," and the humans are like, "What? It doesn't talk." Like E.T. and so many. What else is there? There's so many movies like that. What's that one like about it's called like Seahorse or something, Sea Biscuit or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I think it's kind of a children's movie, and he kind of finds like a magical sea creature.
Gotcha.
Okay. Anyway, that ends up to be talking. So, how would this kid react? Here again, like if we was writing a new certain types of like children's books or something, a lot of children's reaction would be, "Ooh, a talking dog, awesome." This kid is probably not as verbally reactive, just because he's got such anxiety from a situation. But he's a little relieved to see you talk, and he kind of looks at you in a way that's like, he's not going to use words with you, but he looks at you a little more friendly, maybe in a way sort of like the thought you see going through his head is like, "I freaking knew they could talk. I knew it." And so he's just like, so you tell him he's going to get some help. And so I'm going to do this on cam. It doesn't look right with me having a beard because this would be kind of a little kid, but he'd be like, so he kind of nods. He nods in agreement at you. And I mean, he doesn't even express exasperation that you're talking as much as he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. This dog's talking to me. This dog's offering to help. So yes, sir. Okay, where are you going to take me to? I mean, I'm skeptical, but as long as you stay mellow and reassure me, then I'll tentatively go with you." And so the kid like parts the curtains of the wagon also and looks out the tattered curtains of the crashed wagon and looks out onto the street intimidatedly.
Before pulling out of the wagon, he'll say, "Hop on and hold on." And kind of slowly back out, allowing them to kind of use themselves as a brace. And he'll lay down flat to allow him to hop on if he wants.
Okay, the emaciated kid is small enough to ride a dog of this size, and is after a bit of interaction and stuff, he becomes trustworthy enough that he tentatively swings a leg over your back and grabs both of his malnourished, thin, and skeletal arms around your neck.
And Havar'Ti will make it towards the quickest way towards the temple, other than cutting through the market. I mean, he'll take whatever side streets that he knows of,
sure,
less populated areas to get to one of the temples.
The temples are all in the heart of downtown, so you will have to go through downtown. Do you want to go through the, I don't know whether to call them alleys or streets. Do you want to go through the blocks between the buildings so as to avoid the main streets?
Yep, that's what he would do. He would basically do it just,
carve away for you. I'm going to go ahead and carve away for you through the map.
He's just basically looking for whatever way he thinks he can get there the quickest without drawing too much attention.
All right.
Avoiding like any bars or any rowdy crowds or anything like that.
All right. Go out of the northeast side of this neighborhood and go east into the downtown to the area I carved out for you. Yes, you should be able to see the way. Then when you get to an intersection on the far side of the first city block, go up north a bit. and go east. Yep, go in there.
I was looking at the open part between the black down below.
Yeah, I did an open part there, but that's the main street. So the way you're going now has you cutting between high-rise buildings, which you notice are populated largely with giants. Giants live in them. As you come to this spot where your token is now, being ridden by the child, you see that a main road is to the east of you or another alley to the south. Not alley, road between tall buildings, plaza, parkway. So south or east here? I mean, you can ultimately you're going to go south, but south on the main road or south through the alley?
I go south through the alley.
Okay, go back a little bit. Can you see the alley I carved out for you?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. All right, as you get to there, you see there's some big populous building to your west, and let's see if you can avoid detection there. Let's see. What is your method? In other words, you're passing a building that could be anything like a police station, court, or other administrative building. You're not sure, but you can tell by the architecture that it's not one of the skyscraper residences. So it's on a major corner of the city here. So as you're passing it and workers are looking out the window and whatnot, what's your method to attract attention? Are you hiding here, going fast?
He's just going at a really slow pace to obviously not throw the kid off. He's not strong enough to necessarily hold on as if he was to run. I guess he's just trying to walk down the street like, hey, it's just some kid playing with his dog rather than anything else. Just whatever he can do to not draw attention.
Gotcha. You managed to pass by the whatever sort of tax office or official building that was without any notice there, but you come now to a major intersection. If you either zoom yourself way out or scroll around the map, you should be able to find out where the temples are from here. So you can, again, you've got blackness you need to carve through. So I'll let you move your token and choose which way you want to go. But right now, you're at the sidewalk at the edge of, you're coming out of a city alley and you see a major intersection filled with a lot of people ahead. You're worried that you might have an encounter there. How are you going to cross through? And are you going to go, catty corner diagonally or straight across to that city block? So which of the 4 city blocks do you want to go to now? The 4 you can see.
Kind of look at the flow of traffic and wait for an opportunity that looks okay.
Awesome.
Something like it's not going to be any passing giants that are going to, stumble across them, whatever, in the time being.
Awesome.
But when he sees the opening, he'll go straight across from here.
Love it.
And through one of the alleys here to cross over to this side. Eventually finding his way to back of the Sun Temple through the back alleys.
Okay.
So not necessarily the temple entrance, but the back entrance to the temple. Sure.
There, I carved you a whole way out of the map, so you should have a new pathway there. Yeah, I see where you've crossed 2 major streets. I loved your description, where we were able to affiliate that with, like, if you're like in San Francisco or New York, and there's the trolley and the taxis and the several lanes of traffic and you're like waiting for the right time.
Or playing Frogger.
Yeah, I also thought of Frogger there. I surely did. In fact, I thought about making you make some Frogger type rolls, but let's just imagine it. So yes, giants are running this way, and porters and carts and wagons the other way, and flying carpets and a little bit of everybody running around. So, but you do eventually manage to cross that street, go into another couple of downtown alleyways, and make it to the back of the Temple of the Sun. Let's actually go ahead and go in there. We might as well, since we have a map for it. I don't have a token for the emaciated child, but I have a temple map. Temple of the Sun is here. Doing a little bit of token adjusting. Okay. Yeah, can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. Let me type Lex a note. Okay. I'll put a new pop-up pic. There we go. Now we're in the church. The Temple of the Sun of the Egyptian gods. You're familiar here. Yeah, you're well known here. You basically work for this temple. So you are let in without being questioned, and you're probably able to usher your foster child to some kind of help and assistance here. So if you want to walk on into the temple and go up to the main clergy lady, you can either speak to her or just tell me how you would imply.
I think he would walk up to him with the kid still on his back and kind of lay down in front of her, so that way the kid could get up, or at least roll off to the side. And I think it would be probably pretty obvious what the situation is as far as with the clergy lady and him bringing the kid in.
She says some words in an Egyptian tongue that are along the lines of, may the rays of the sun heal and nourish this child who has been held too long in the shadow and darkness. And she casts some healing upon him and some, create food, and starts offering more vitamins and water and such to heal the child. She brings him back up to his full hit points, which for a child isn't too much, but the difference in his health is vast. He's no longer on the edge of dying.
And I think he would leave the child with the care of the temple, and kind of leave it up to them whether, hey, does this kid have any family anywhere that they need to get him back to? Is it an orphan on the street? And kind of leave it up to the temple of maybe, hey, they have some work that this kid can do to kind of help him out and make sure he's okay, or do what they can from now and send him on his way, but let him know that this is a place they can come back to.
Awesome, Chris. Dude, this is so fun. I've had people play like a war dog or an animal companion before, but not as their main character. I really like it. I didn't know how it would work out, but I like it now, having a dog as a character, due to the amount of D&D-ish type things that you as a player figure out how to do using that character. I think a lot of people would be like, I don't know what to do. I want to attack with a sword. I guess I'll just attack with my claw. With you, it's like more of a character that has like ideas, that like looks at the world and like interacts with people and thinks outside the box and comes up with solutions and stuff. So that's the classical way to play D&D. Like in old school D&D, your stats didn't even matter and stuff. You were just like, you'd be a dwarf. You wouldn't even be a dwarf fighter. It was just like racist class and stuff. So this is kind of a racist class situation. We got a dog that's playing as a dog and doing a good job of it and actually impacting and changing the world. So I like that. So you've completed another quest, cha-ching. And I still got more time to play today, and I'm hopeful that Lex will come back on. I do need to think of where we'll probably go next. So I'll probably take a 5-minute bio break for both of us. And hopefully Lex will click back in. I need to send a message to Lex in Discord and ask him to make a little adjustment on the stream graphics there. But yeah, let's do another hour. We'll do another some sort of adventure, maybe some random stuff, maybe a fight. Yeah, I think maybe having a little D&D fight on today would be cool. So more to come after 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Cool.